Have you had a blinker fluid? I've never had a blinker fluid either.
This is the same as blinker fluid.
Oh, such as blinker fluid.
Headlights. Good afternoon and welcome to the Blinker Fluid Podcast. My name is Adam and with me is Soch. How you doing today, Soch?
What's up? What's up?
We are here to talk automobiles, anything automobile and automobile related, make fun of Hyundais, all that good stuff. Sorry, man, I know you just bought one and I really want to hear about it because I hear they've really come up a lot. But you know what? I'm going to load this clip for you real quick because I've got one for you.
What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal.
Hyundai.
That sounds about like your new Hyundai, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. To the T. I just got a couple more bells and whistles.
Nice, nice. Which one did you get?
It's the 2022 Tucson.
The Tucson.
It is the SEL package where it has some special bells and whistles for the steering assist and lane assist and whatnot that could scare the heck out of you if you drive a 90s car or older like I usually do.
Too much tech.
Oh yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, I know that was an upgrade from the Veloster you had before.
Yep. I had a 2015 turbo Veloster, and it was a smasher. I loved that little car. It took care of us for the 80,000 miles we had it for sure.
Dude, that's awesome. They've come a long way with those cars, I got to admit.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So to kick this off, we're going to run through 10 questions with Adam and Soch and do a little get to know each other, and then we've got a guest coming on later, and then we'll talk about, Fresno street racing and all that good stuff and kind of see where the hour takes us. All right, so I'll let you kick it off, my friend. What you got?
All right, so the first question here is the first car you had that you drove of your life. It could be the first one that you ever put your hands on and drove, or the first one you legally drove having your license, because I have both.
That's true. Well, technically, the first car I had was a 75 Chevy Stepside. My dad and I built. We rebuilt the motor, painted it, got it running. And oddly enough, in the 90s, my dad thought it was going to be too much of a gas guzzler. So we sold it, and I got an 86 Mazda mini truck. Already lowered, chrome, tires sticking out to there. Thing looked like a cockroach. Love that thing, though. Bottomed it out. It was slow as crap. But it was a fun car. You know, we used to haul 7 people to school in the bed of that thing. Illegal now. Legal back then, I think, maybe. But it was a lot of fun. What about you? First car?
So, but for the two stories, the first car I ever put my hands on and actually put my foot to the gas and brake, I jacked my dad's Crown Victoria. It was an old. He knows the whole story because he caught me afterwards. But anyways, so I was 13 years old. My parents went out because I lived in Florida. They went out to St. Augustine, which is 2 hours away. So I knew they weren't coming back for the night. I was like, okay, the keys are there. Let me just drive it up and down the road, see how it feels. I've seen my dad do it a bunch of times, and yeah, I hit the gas once too hard, spun the tires, and I parked it really quick, and then they came home the next day and noticed it. So long story short, Indian family, I'm Hindu. Things didn't go too well, but still, I learned my lesson. Don't do burnouts when you can't get caught.
Exactly.
So my first vehicle that I had with my license was actually a hand-me-down car. It was a 91 Camry, Toyota Camry SE, and that was actually the car that brought me home from the hospital when I was born. In New York.
Reliable.
Yes. And by the time I had it, it went through every one of my family members, my brother, both my sisters, a cousin, the whole story. And by the time I got it, rust bucket from Florida, we put like $2,000 into it. It ran for another few years for me, did its job, and I was the dumbass that sold it and shouldn't have.
How many miles on it when you got rid of it?
So when I first got it in my name on title, it had 250,000.
So just broken in.
Yeah, pretty much. It was broken into the point of where you knew it would still last you 100,000 miles, no problem. By the time I was done with it, I had over 320K on it. And I changed the timing belt when I first got it. Everything at the time, I drove to the freaking dirt. I took it everywhere that I could have. If I knew more about autocross at the time, I would have done it. But I was a little shit kid, had a car, and I was like, let's go hang out with the friends. Let's go drive around and do nothing. So yeah, those were my first.
You can't kill a Camry.
Yeah, never.
You can't kill a Camry.
So here we go for the second question. How many cars have you owned?
Oh man, because it's easier to change cars than wives, it's been several. Shoot, if I'm guessing without counting right now, it's probably close to 40.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Let's see. We had Mazda pickup, Mitsubishi Starion. From the Starion, went to a Chevy S10 mini truck. From the Chevy S10, went to an Aerostar. That was a mistake. From the Aerostar, we went to what do we have after that? 67 Mercury Cougar. Had to sell it because smog was coming up. The year later, they changed the smog laws, and I wouldn't have had to smog it. I'm still very bitter about that.
Oh, California.
Yep, gotta love California. That one I traded for a Chevy Cavalier, which was incredibly stupid. Let's see, the Cavalier gave way to the Pontiac Fiero, which was a lot of fun. They get a bad rap, but they are a blast to drive. Still want to get one and put a Countach kit on it just to make people angry.
Oh, yeah.
From the Fiero, we went to the Ford Probe, which is what got me into driving fast. Love the torque steer. That thing would almost kill you, throwing you into a wall.
Did you have the 6-cylinder?
Yeah, 6-cylinder GT.
That was the pure you were not turning.
No. That thing was just raw. Let's see. Ford Probe gave way to a Ford Ranger mini truck. Ford Ranger, then a Scirocco I picked up for $150. That was a fun car. Scirocco went to an 03 Ford Ranger. There's a theme going with that. Let's see. Ford Ranger traded in for Honda Element when the kids came along, which still one of my favorite cars to this day. Never had to put chains on it in the snow.
That's awesome.
Literally like driving a brick,
awesome.
and probably more back seat room, leg room than anything out there. Then picked up the Land Rover, which, you know, a $3,000 car has probably cost me about 20 grand at this point to keep running. Should have bought a new one. Let's see. Still have that. And then from
Trooper. Damn Trooper.
No, I had a Trooper. I forgot about the Trooper. 86 Isuzu Trooper. Love that car. Traded it for the green Volkswagen 411.
Ooh.
Yeah, which didn't realize the motor was bad when I got it. And those air-cooled motors aren't cheap. Let's see. Green 411 still sitting in the back here. Fairly drivable. Then what else? Let's see. Just picked up the Bronco. Bronco 2. Then the Eclipse came along. Before the Eclipse was the Baja. Baja's getting the motor rebuilt. And then Volkswagen Bus. And I don't even count the wife's cars. And there's a 55 Merc in there somewhere that I still have. So there's been a few cars. How about you?
So, personally, myself, I've owned in my name title about 12 cars, but I've bought and flipped a lot because in Florida, you don't have to deal with a lot of that stuff with titles.
Nice.
No smog, nothing has to be done. Literally, your car could be on cinder blocks, and you can get it insured and have it like you were going to drive it the next day.
It's Florida for you.
So, besides the Camry, I went from the Camry, I went to a convertible E36, and it was a piece of shit. It drove. I had it for like 2 or 3 months, but the first thing went on it, which is known for those motors, is the Vanos. It's just like the cam sensor, whatever the crap.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that went bad. And I started getting a quote. Me being a little kid, I didn't understand. I was like, I'm not going to pay for this. Screw that. I'm going to get another car I can beat on. So I went through a few other cars, and from the point of the BMW to the point of when I tried doing autocross, I went through about another 5 cars that were all just junk, from a GMC 1500, which is the Chevy pickup truck. Mm-hmm. From there, I went to the... What was the next one? FC RX-7. I only owned it for 3 days.
Oh, man.
I drove it. So if you know from being here in Fresno, from Fresno to Visalia is a good maybe 30-minute drive or so. So about that in Florida is about how far I drove to go get the car. Drove it all the way home, no problems. The guy was like, yeah, the car drives fine. He didn't drive it for 2 weeks just because he didn't drive it anymore. Guy screwed me bad. As soon as I got home, parked it, started the next day, wouldn't start. Lost compression, all this stuff. The apex seals were what were going bad. And he literally knew it was on the last phase, and he didn't even care. He's just like, go ahead, yeah, take it for $3,000. I paid $3,000 for this car not knowing anything. I was like, yeah, ripped it home, everything. My dad said, yep, we have to take this whole thing apart and put seals in it because of this.
Yeah, but the value of that car today.
I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. So I didn't even start autocrossing at that point. I had 2 other cars from that point that were just mediocre, beat up cars. It was a Crown Victoria like my dad's, which is the 94, I think. It's the second to last generation.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's the more bubble body after the square. Anyways, that one and then another pickup truck. So now at this point, I saw my friends with the tuner stuff. My brother had Fast and Furious. He was driving already. I wasn't driving yet. So I'm watching him with all of his friends fucking hauling ass in their Eclipses and everything, thinking they're freaking going fast. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I need to get me something. What did I get? EG Civic. Hatchback. I was so happy about it. It was the turquoise, and it was the 3rd stick shift car I ever had, so I knew I was all right. I knew how to do everything, but of course, the first thing I burnt up was the clutch. So single cam, or single jingles, people call it. My dad helped me replace it because at this time I want to say I was 19. I want to say I was 19, almost 20. So at this point, I already had my first son. So I'm trying to be a little of an adult and not a shithead, but still have my fun and be a racer. So from there, I'm just having my fun trying to do a little bit of autocross here and there. I never tried to do competitive. And then I got into my first Subaru. I had a 2005 Subaru Impreza. It was not the special one. It was the RS base model. I think it was a 4-speed automatic transmission. But hey, that thing ripped.
Oh, yeah.
The best part about it, I was the 4th owner, and it already had the STI body kit and spoiler on it. So I was like, yes! It was a piece of crap, 2.5, naturally aspirated, automatic. But I had so much fun.
It was a cool poseroo, you know?
Exactly. So from that car, I was like, all right, I need another one, but I want a turboed one. So I got a 05 Outback XT, the 2.5 XT.
Oh, nice.
So it was the leather interior, the 05 as well. So it's when they first changed to that Hawkeye look front end. Oh, man, it was the best car. But yeah, it was. I was racing a lot of people still. Let's just put it that way. I blew the transmission in it. And at that point, I came to California. So my first car in California was another EG Civic hatchback, same color turquoise. I got so lucky getting it because my brother-in-law had it, and he gave it to me for $400.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I was like, I am not. Heck no, I'm taking it. Sure.
Yeah.
Went from there, and after that car, I got another wagon Subaru. I got another 05 Impreza, and that one was my first stick shift Subaru. So I didn't know all-wheel drive for stick shift, and don't clunk your freaking, don't dump the clutch. I blew the freaking all-wheel drive in it.
Oh, man.
It's just stupid things like that, on and on and on. But right now,
live and learn.
Exactly. So I've had since then a few other Subarus that were Imprezas and stuff, but I bought them and sold them. I never did anything, and at that point, only being fresh in California, I was being the idiot doing stuff in Florida with tags and stuff, so I'd sell cars without having any issues. And California caught up to me.
Well, see, now it's time to find the cool one and get the right-wheel drive Postal Legacy.
Mm-hmm. That is the plan.
Not deal with smog.
Yeah. So the Legacy that I have is a second-gen Subaru Legacy. It's a 99, which is the last year they made that body. And after that, everyone said that Legacies just went to hell, apparently. I don't know why people that go look at the second gen act like it is the god of this car, of the Subaru Legacies. And I love the first gen and second gen, but when people saw that I had this car and that I was autocrossing it, I just somehow created a little followship from 300 or 400 people from Facebook that were all just like, keep racing it, yes!
Send it.
So yeah, we have that, and then we have the Tucson, which is the wife's car, and yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at with that. As you can tell, both of us have had a few cars in our life. He's had hella more than I have, but that's just because his experience with vehicles is definitely a lot more.
Well, and I'm a bit older, so
Yes.
And I did forget, I had a Neon. I forgot about the Dodge Neon.
Oh yeah, that was
I
the
showed you
face.
yes.
That was the face.
It had the shark graphic from Fast and Furious on it, and it was just stupid, but it was fun.
Oh yeah.
It was a fun one.
I never had the chance to fully race out the outside of my cars, but I was the guy with the neons, the sound system. I had the first year in the 2000s when the Pioneer came out with the pop-out screen. It was barely even touchscreen.
It was revolutionary.
I paid the $2,000 for it. I was like, wow. Now I look back at it and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was a good financial decision.
Yeah.
Nice. What else you got on your list there?
All right, so here we are, number 3. It seems like we've been on a few of them, but I promise you, it's only number 3. So let's see. Favorite car you've owned?
My favorite. So that's a tough question because I've got a variety, SUVs, all that. If I've got to pick a favorite, I'm going to go with the Land Rover at this point.
Respect.
It's dreadfully unreliable. The thing loves going to the shop. I think I keep my mechanic in business with that thing. But damn if it's not nice to drive. You just get in there, the seats hug you. I mean, I've got a Yukon. I forgot about the Yukon. I've got a Yukon sitting in the back here that I can get in that thing after 6 months, start it up, and I can drive across the country, no problem. But it's like driving a freaking overstuffed couch. You take a turn and you're sliding around, and it's not built for me. It's not fun to drive. It has no personality. It's reliable. I get in that Land Rover, the seat hugs you just like an old friend, and it's just cuddling you, and it keeps you in place. It's got no power, but it can climb up anything. And it's fun. I put it into a snowbank. I went to the junkyard, got 2 new doors for it. Good to go. Parts are getting cheap on them. They're starting to get a little bit of value now as they get more rare because people don't want to repair them.
That's true.
I've seen guys do LS swaps on them, so that maybe that's down the future if I hold on to it, make it a little more reliable. But then do you kill the character of the car? I don't know. But it's been a fun one. So I'm going to go with the Land Rover as the favorite car I've owned so far.
Nice.
What about you?
So, quick story on the Land Rover because I've gotten to experience how actually cool this car is. I got a vehicle stuck up in the mountains. Long story short, he had to help me the next day to go and get it. And it did not take long at all, but it was stuck on the axles.
It was my van, by the way.
Yes.
Forgot about the van.
Yes. Yes, the Dodge van. That could be a drifter soon.
If they'll let me bring it to autocross, I will send the van.
Yes. Yeah, so I got that stuck down to the axles, and he came to the rescue with that, and like it was nothing. Literally, like that van was paperweight. And I mean, this is a older van, so it is made from American steel.
96 Dodge, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Towed you out. I was more worried about getting to the location than towing you out, though, because, again, Land Rover. So I figure as long as I made it up there, I'll get you out.
Oh, yeah.
I just might need a tow truck to get up there, but we made it. Got it out. No big deal.
Oh, man. All right, so my favorite car that I have owned has to personally be the Subaru that I have right now because, yes, I did get lucky that I am the 3rd owner of the vehicle. It was maintained and I have paperwork from the dealership. I don't trust dealerships, but they got paperwork. The car kept running. I don't have any leaks besides a valve cover.
Typical.
Well, yeah. So all the maintenance I've done to it, I literally raced it a whole season, and I love the car. There's nothing I could really say bad besides the fact that it's 180,000 miles and cars get old. They'll never get any newer. You just got to make them look shiny and keep
It's
going.
worth rebuilding the motor in that thing. And I'll tell you the thing I like best about your Subaru, the color.
Yeah.
It's red. I love Subarus. I'm a fan. They're all blue. They're all blue. It's a great color. It's iconic. If you get the gold rims, they're neat. Red, though, you just don't see them. I think I've seen 1 or 2 WRX in town that are red, the newer ones, and it just pops on those cars because you don't see them.
Yep.
Yeah,
the color name is Rio Red, like literally like Rio de Janeiro kind of thing. So, but yeah. Anyways, it's a cool car, and the way that people follow these kind of cars is like people are with an Miata. Just like how people are fanboys over that. I literally have found a forum of dweebs and weebs like myself that literally will die for the fact that these cars are just as good as the freaking Tofu Runner initial D 8086 car.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah, I'm finding there's a cult following for a lot of the unique cars. Even that stupid 3G Eclipse I have. I mean, there's a group, and these people love these things. They're worth $800. I mean, they're not expensive cars. They're fun to drive. I enjoy it. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Eclipse. But there's a cult for everything on cars, especially when they get into the 80s, 90s, and it's just growing, and it's just a neat part of the car culture, is you can find someone to connect with on darn near any vehicle.
Yep.
There's Land Rover forums, maybe not so much Toyota Camrys, I don't know. Some people like them, they're great rental cars. But yeah, I mean, you'll find someone to connect with on any car, and it's just really neat, especially with a rarity.
Oh yeah.
It's something that's hard to find.
The one random one that I found was a Dodge Stratus group, and it had like 2,000 people in it, and 90% of them all literally raced them. They all had them gutted, racing them, and like anything that they could get their hands in, from autocross to anything like Spec Me Out kind of stuff, like up there.
What was in those, V6?
Yeah, they all came with the. What was it? It was the van V6.
Okay. So my dad had the Intrepid, the bigger one.
Yeah,
the one they based the NASCAR body off of.
Yeah.
Big car, neat, not a lot of character to drive, and
The
you had
bubble.
to take the freaking tire off to get to the battery.
I heard about that. I never dealt with it.
You needed to be jump started. I'm like, where's the freaking battery? Oh, it's under the flap under the tire.
Tried to be like NASCAR.
Really? That was a good idea?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So, I mean, anything's out there for anybody. You just gotta look for it.
That's true.
Oh, man. All right, here we go. Number 4. Worst ticket you've received.
Ooh.
I would say, like, towards cars or in general. I would stick to cars just because this is more podcast towards cars. That's where we're going to stay. But
So you can't go with the speeding tickets because I've been fortunate. I think 40 over was my quickest clock, but he didn't write me up for it. So I can't count that. Shoot. Worst ticket. Rolling through the red lights on a school bus, and I genuinely felt bad about that.
oh, man.
There were no kids present. I was a young driver towing a trailer in a car with bad brakes, come around the corner in the mountain, and you just turned the lights on. So it wasn't too bad. But, stupid kid not knowing what I'm doing, tried to hit the brakes, tires started locking up, and I'm like, well, I got to just go, or I'm going to end up wrecking into something. And there was a sheriff behind him. Pulled me over. That one was $800
Oh, man.
in 99, I think. 98, 99.
That's hefty. That's hefty.
So that was bad. Felt really bad about that because I've got kids, and like that was incredibly stupid. So drive good, people out there. There's kids out there.
Yes.
But yeah, that was probably the worst as far as that goes. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's definitely got me topped because I've been fortunate to not get in trouble with the law as badly. I will not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the time that I did was when I had the BMW, the convertible, and I was racing this guy that had the Mark III Supra with the pop-up headlights. And of course he's thromping me, beating me, but as we're going in traffic, I'm still being an idiot going around. I'm beating him because we're still trying to just race through traffic. Cop sees me, doesn't see him. So as we're both still doing I'm gonna say we're doing stupidly twice the speed limit on the highway, just to say that. And he lights me up, I pull over, and he just keeps going. I was like, so he got me only.
Oh man.
And this was 2 days before the car blew up too.
Oh.
2 days. So I'm already angry that I got this hefty ticket. Anyways, so he didn't get me for speeding because he didn't have his radar to show proof, and I was biting his ass about it because thankfully I'm not trying to sound like I'm lucky about it, but I have family in the law enforcement that have told me what I can talk about, what I can't talk about, to try and make sure I save my own ass. So, literally.
Oh man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I got a wallet, unlawful driving, unlawful, like if I was doing a big burnout pretty much, and
Exhibition speed.
That's
the
yeah.
Yep.
And at the time, I don't remember, it was early 2000s still, but my ticket was like 500 and change. And at the time, I'm thinking like, wow, this is ridiculous because I don't make a car payment. I'm at home with my parents, and I make $1,000 in almost every 2 weeks or so, maybe a month. Depends on what I'm doing at the time because I was cutting grass. So it's like, wow, this really happened to me. This is in my face. And then, of course, the day that the car blew up 2 days later was me being a jackass in the rain, spinning the tires like, screw it, I don't care about this car, and I'm just going to rip it around, and boom, Venice. Yeah, that happened. So
let me rant on this for a minute since we're talking tickets.
Yes.
Years ago, not recently, when I had my Scirocco and I was being stupid, I racked up a few speeding tickets to the point they took my license for 6 months. Now, I had a friend that got a DUI. He had his license back in 2 weeks, provisional, and they would not give me mine.
That's great.
I'm sorry, but is driving drunk not worse than maybe speeding a little bit? I don't know. I've always been bitter about that. Maybe I'm the asshole, but I don't think so.
I'm with you on that one. Shoot. I mean, it's only because I've had family members die from drunk drivers.
Well,
and that's why I feel the video. I'd rather someone be okay with doing 20 over the speed limit cruising as long as they're not crashing anybody because they're fucking sober, and then someone that's literally shit-faced drunk after a party doing 10 miles under the speed limit, runs a light, and still kills somebody.
Thank you. Obey the law, kids.
Yes,
but seriously.
That's what autocross is for and what track days are for.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll get to the street racing later.
Yes. Okay, so what is your dream car?
My dream car. Oh man. That's a tough one. You've got the Italians, you've got the cool Japanese stuff. It's easy to say the Skyline because it's just a fanboy car that we all geek out about, but it is really cool. Especially the one we saw at the meetup last spring. In the fall, the end of the season meetup. Your buddy Matt that brought up the maroon four-door.
Yeah.
That thing was really neat, and you can get them reasonable if you don't get all the whistles and bells.
Yeah, R30. It was R32 or 33.
I think it was like
32.
33. Was it 33?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
one of those
33.
numbers.
Yeah, it was the
And I don't even know
GTS
the
4
numbers
because
that
it was
well.
the 4-door. So yeah, was it 33?
But yeah, a unique car, especially the four-door. You just don't see them. People don't import them as much.
And the price.
Exactly. And of course I have the pictures of the Countach in my room. The emergency vehicles. You've got the red one for fire, the white one for this and that.
Yeah.
But then the more you watch people trying to back them up in a parking lot, do I really want that? I don't know if I can drive that. So I don't know. Being a parent, there's always the practicality aspect, but I don't know. So I'm probably gonna have to go with the Porsche GT3.
That's a good one. The
4
GT3,
seats,
the
yeah.
GT3 is roomy and still angry.
And I've always been a Porsche fan. I give my parents a hard time about this. They had a '77 Targa, air-cooled, beautiful car. Not turbo, and I think they bought it for like $7,000 in '92, maybe '91. Sold it just before I got my license. A little bitter about that, but I did get to drive it around the neighborhood and the country, so that was okay. That car today, I want to say they sold it probably for $9,000 back then, is darn near a six-figure car.
Oh, 100%.
But who knew? I mean, no one
Yeah.
wanted the air-cooled back then.
Yeah, at that point, because of technology changing, they knew that other stuff lasted longer than this. So
Exactly.
it's fine.
And then it's the toss-up. Do you go with the new, the GT3, or do you go with the Widowmaker, the mid-'80s turbo with the whale tail and all this,
Oh, yeah.
and just get that purity of a driver's car with the air-cooled engine? So it'd be something in the Porsche line, I think.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So me personally, I have been JDM and US vehicle, a JDM fan. But personally, me, for practicality and everything, people still think I'm crazy for this, but I would rather get an X5, BMW X5, all-wheel drive, big enough, get me through what I need, and if someone pisses me off, I can get around them.
Good-looking cars.
Yes.
Are those third row?
I think the newer ones are, but the certain body that I want is like early 2000s because they still came with the twin turbo.
And you can get those fairly reasonable now.
Yes.
I mean, it's a BMW, so you're going to do repairs,
Yes.
but I'd rather repair an older BMW than a newer
With all the like
crossover of anything.
yeah,
You know?
oh yeah, all the technology and everything now.
Yeah, it's all going to break. 10 years when all the tech goes out on these new cars, I'm going to feel bad for the drivers, and I hope I'm wrong. But it's going to break. And when you have your HVAC and everything in a touchscreen, I like knobs. I like twisting the knobs.
Oh yeah, that's what stopped us from a quick offset, but the Tucson. The reason why we didn't get the certain one that's sunroof to the one that we have now is because I did not want to have touch screen for everything. I wanted my knobs, and they still had it for the certain models. I said, I want that one instead. So
See?
I got it.
I get in that 86 Bronco and there's knobs for everything and I love it. Of course, I got to get out and turn, lock the hubs if you want four-wheel drive. But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't even like the keyboard on my phone. I want a real keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, my Subaru, too. The Legacy, everything is still original, so I have all my buttons for everything. The analog green.
Oh, love that.
I love that color so much. All right, so here's for the next one. Yugo. Do you think it is a classic or do you think it is still junk?
I'm going to go with both. Classic junk.
I like that.
They're getting a following. And honestly, they're ugly, but they're not. It's kind of a funky, cool, square-looking little hatch. Reminds me of the old Rabbit. Everything's going to break, so I don't know how you'd fix stuff on it. But, I don't know, you could throw a little VR6 in there or something. It might be a fun car.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going up in value, which is crazy.
Even a rust bucket. Full on, you were to kick that thing on the side and it would.
Oh, they're worth more than they were new.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. So,
what about you? Classic or junk?
I think that they are a full-on classic. Anything is a piece of junk if you look at it in a certain way, even a freaking Lambo. It can be a piece of junk because
yeah, I've seen Tavarish's site and he's got plenty of.
So I think it's a classic. Anything that can hold a value more than what it was brand new to me has some part of enjoying someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
To where it could be a Yugo, it could be a Stratus, it could be a Ford Probe, anything. And like a Yugo, it is an older vehicle. I don't even know when was the first year, 70s?
Were they 70s? I know it was early 80s for sure.
Yeah, I know
don't
80s
how far
they
back
were
it goes.
booming. I know 80s was when a lot of people bought like the
Lay
Beatles.
Car and all those.
Yeah.
That whole era.
Yeah, so I personally classic, and the parts may not be able to be found nowadays, but fabrication is something of the future that is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Jay Leno's got a thing. He can just print parts for whatever he needs right on site.
And a hand scanner and just go.
Exactly. And if it invokes nostalgia in you, it's cool. I mean, we're buying cars that, we couldn't afford as younger people or, that our parents drove. And it's just like, oh, I remember, my dad took me to the movies in that car every week or whatever it is. And there's just the nostalgia, then what feelings it brings back in you. And if it's a Yugo, hey, so be it.
Yeah. I've never gotten the chance to drive one or be in one, but I had a chance to know a friend that had one, and he did a whole video of looking over, and that thing was a shit box. But again, it's anything has potential if you got the funds and if you have enough courage to go through it.
True.
All right, here we go. Next question here. What is your favorite car movie?
Favorite car movie? Up until fairly recently, I'd have gone with Gone in 60 Seconds, but now I think it's Baby Driver.
Yeah, I love
that movie.
Yeah, that's an awesome.
And it's not just because of the Subaru and the opening scene, but partially is. But I don't know, man. That they take the car action and they meld it with the music, and it just comes together.
Heck yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. Any car chases are great.
Exactly.
I'll watch the Fast and Furious movies over and over because I'm just dumb like that. But it's fun. What about you?
So mine, because I'm a weeb, I will completely tell you it. I have no problem saying it. Mine is Too Fast, Too Furious for the simple reason of Florida. That is where I was raised. My brother literally drove us to Miami to go and see Cars on Showcase when the movie was still being produced.
Dude.
And that's why it was the best movie when we came out. All of us, he had like 16, 17 friends at the movie theater, and we all went to go see it together. And after that, he went all driving all the night, and there was a certain time I had to be home, so he dropped me back off home, and he stayed out for the rest of the night. I miss that time.
Yeah, I don't think, it's one of those guilty pleasures, the whole series. It's become a James Bond series, but those original two movies, with the shiny cars and all that,
Era period.
Yeah, who didn't love that? The dialogue was stupid, bruh. It got worse in the second one, let's be honest.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Pockets is empty, But, yeah, it just brought this car scene to life. And let's be honest how much it brought to the car scene because it changed. I went when those movies came out from a mini trucker into, tuner cars.
Yeah.
We went from the lower trucks that were slow and low to now I've got a Dodge Neon with a shark on the side of it for no reason. And we're driving too fast in a car with 150 horsepower. So we're really not going that fast. But yeah, just what it did to the whole car culture was just, it was revolutionary.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. I'll never say anything other for cars. That was it. I have a lot of other favorite movies, but that was the growing up epiphany of me being a teenager, knowing, okay, I want this in my life. I want to do this. It looks stupid as hell.
If there's anyone into the car scene, especially if they're younger, that tells you they did not watch those movies and they did not enjoy them, they're lying.
Exactly, and I still watch them to this day. My wife gets annoyed at me, but I still watch.
Oh, totally right.
Okay, here we go. Better drivers, Dom Toretto's family or Memphis Reigns?
I'm going to say that for him without laughing. So the better drivers, Dom Toretto's family or Memphis Reigns' crew. Yeah, I'm going to go with Memphis, man. They've got experience.
Yeah, there's a lot more seat time there. There's definitely a lot more seat time.
And to
a lot less shifting.
To throw around a classic car like that.
Yeah, well, production-wise, like, gosh, I can only imagine. So yeah, I will go with that as well. I will.
Nice.
I again, Too Fast Furious. Yes, I love it, but yes, Memphis definitely. So my dad was one to be like, let's watch this instead. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, let's watch it. I'm fine with it. I will go with Memphis as well.
But you have to give a note, and it doesn't even apply to this, but still one of the best car movies, American Graffiti.
I never got to watch that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at you and
yes. Sorry.
Microphone.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got a DVD you need to borrow. You've got homework.
Oh, for sure.
And it all goes back to, I mentioned Baby Driver, how they meld the music with the car scene and set the whole stage for the time.
Okay.
It's all classics, obviously, because it's set in the 60s, but my God, dude, how have you not seen American Graffiti?
Yeah, I think, if I think about it, it is probably something that I didn't possibly see on TV, but I never sat down and got to enjoy it yet, kind of.
Now, if you tell me you've seen Grease and not American Graffiti, I'm going to ask you to leave.
I've never watched that fully myself either.
Okay, you can stay.
I can say that the only reason why I was ever on TV was because of my parents, and
Worst car movie ever, Grease.
I can agree with that.
I will die on that hill. Fight me.
Oh man, I agree with that. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. If you could drive only one car the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, so that's a tough one. If you're weighing everything, practicality and driving experience. Oh man, and it's hard to say, with cars I haven't driven. I haven't actually driven the Skyline. It might be fun. I've been driving a 2010 Forester. I forgot to mention that one. For the last couple months. I actually purchased it for my kids, so I'm not going to say it's mine. And it's been rewarding. We haven't had to chain up going to the snow. I might look at like a Forester XT. Outback Wilderness Edition's kind of caught my eye as a future purchase.
Very nice.
I need something utility to get to the mountains, maybe the beach, and still have fun. I need to be able to pass going uphill, which this one doesn't do so well. CHP would think otherwise. We won't talk about that one. But yeah, probably like a Forester XT, maybe a Outback. They're fun. They're fairly reliable.
Very nice. Me personally, I think
you own the one you drive.
Yeah. So again, it would be the one that I would drive. But if it's something that I've never had like an experience but want, and I knew that I would drive it for the rest of my life for everything it could do for me, I don't remember the exact name, but it was the Ford 3-door pickup truck that was huge as hell, and it's like 6 doors. It has 3 on one side, 3 on the other side.
Oh man!
And it was the ridiculously big Ford diesel truck that they came out with in the early 90s. I'll have to try to figure it out.
Are you thinking of the Centurion that looked like a 4-door Bronco?
I think you could be right. It was diesel powered. I don't know if that.
I think they had a diesel option, and it was literally like the late '80s Bronco, had the removable back piece, but it was 4-door.
Yeah, I think that was it.
And
Yeah,
Ford had contracted with, I believe the company was Centurion, and they were made special for Ford. And they were just that. It was a 4-door big Bronco. I believe they had a diesel edition. I know they came with the 351 in the gas one. 351 maybe? 302. Maybe it was the 302. But they were monsters. They're huge. And they're like 20 grand now.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously expensive for what they are.
For me, it may not be practicality of parking, but for me, it's practicality of I can do anything I want with it.
Yeah. And you won't look like traffic driving it down the street.
Yes.
It's unique. It's unique. Yeah, they replaced that, I think, with the Excursion, which is getting expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Excursion's I think the biggest version of it, right? Or
Yeah.
The Expedition, then the Excursion is the top tier. But yeah, okay, so that was, I mean, mine's kind of weird, but yeah, that's it.
It's unique. I couldn't argue with it. I've been looking at those, and if I see one that popped up, I was thinking of it, but man, they're not cheap, even beat up.
Oh no. All right, so since I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the questions so far, we have the last one here right now, and it is number 10. Dog in the front seat or in back? Adam?
Dog's supposed to stay in the back. We even got the little basket for the dog to stay back there, and she likes to sit on the center console. But no dog on the lap while I'm driving, because that's a no-no. And you just got a dog.
Yes.
So.
Very needy. I'm trying my best, but if it is just me in the vehicle, she has to be on my leg, and if I'm driving a stick-shift car, I have to literally buckle her into the passenger seat so she does not come towards me. If I have her in the back, she will cry. We literally have a harness with a buckle, literally made, we bought it from the pet store to be sure that she doesn't jump on me and stuff when I'm driving by myself, because she loves to nibble on my face. Nothing bad, she never made me bleed or anything. But yeah, so for the question, I love her in my lap. she can sit there as long as I'm driving my Subaru, because she can see the whole world from being on my left leg, and I don't have to worry about anything.
Well, and if she looks at you and gives you puppy dog eye, because she only has one, so it's puppy dog eye.
Yep.
It's hard to say no.
Yep.
I've got this little square faced Maltese that's like, what's in your lap? No, get back there. You ride in coach, not first class. Yeah, it's hard. I see people in the back of their trucks, and I'm like, you got room in the cab, put your dog inside. That's not safe.
Yeah.
Maybe they're strapped down. Usually they're not. Who knows? Awesome. So then moving on. Seen anything cool around town lately?
So with
car-wise
with events, it's just pretty much I'm dedicating my time right now to autocross. There are some smaller car meets going around, and I think we're almost in the last month and change of the real cold season.
Mm-hmm.
By usually the end of February, because right now it's January, we'll start getting those random heat waves.
It's gonna be hot.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hit 100 one day and 30 degrees at night, and then back to 100 during the day. It's crazy here in Fresno, California.
Oh, big time.
But right now I'm just dedicating my time for autocross, because I've been given the chance to race with a small racing team that's just been built up, and I'll be racing in M3 E36 BMW. If you don't know what that is, it's a 1997, and it's the top package, but it's got a lot of modifications to where it'll scare the hell out of you, and it's a day net difference from the car that I actually race.
Nice. So we'll be looking for some cool video on that.
Oh yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. I think our guest has arrived, so we're going to get him in and get him settled. We've got Moss. He is a car shipper. I don't know if that's the correct term, but he hauls really cool, really high dollar cars to Car Week, to, if you're buying something, you need it shipped to Texas, because there's different smog laws. He's your man. So he's going to have some cool stories, I bet, and have some really cool cars that he's hauled, and we'll hear about that. So we'll be back shortly.
All right. I had to drive for 2 days with it fucking stuck open until my buddy was just like, there's a fucking clip right there, you fucking idiot. This clip on the certain models in the early 2000s that they made of the bracket was a safety clip. If it opened too much, it would pop out and hold it. And I was like, why the fuck won't it go down? 2 days going to work. I didn't give a fuck if anyone sat in the car. It didn't ring. I was like, fuck it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. What's funny to me is those guys that pick up, we had a buddy buy one of those new Corvette Stingrays, brand new one.
Yeah.
2020, and it was on the waiting list. you know, and paid almost 130,000 for the car, right? And he goes and slaps Lamborghini doors on it. Car looks cool. It looks real cool, but it's like, man, you could have just bought a normal Murcielago for that.
That's true.
Well, and he killed the value of that vet.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
As soon as he modified it, yep.
And you know everyone's gonna make fun of that shit.
Mm-hmm. There was someone that already did a twin turbo to the new Corvette, and after he tried selling it back, it was literally worth like 40%.
Oh yeah.
That was so bad. So it's like, I can only imagine you spent that much money, and then you're like, oh, have fun with the car, and I should be able to get some kind of good value out of it. Nope. The ECU, everything has been swapped out.
Well, yeah, especially in this state.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think it was in California too, the one that I saw. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jim, who owns Van Ness Auto, where I go, he has a long-time customer. Guy's dying of cancer pretty soon. Has an 04 vet, and he's like, "Hey Jim, I want to give you this vet." And he's like, "I can't take your vet." He's like, "What am I gonna do with it? You know, I've got 8 months. You know, he's like, take my vet." And Jim's like, "Well, let me give you something." He's like, "All right, just give me 5. Wrote him a check for 5 grand. He's like, I doubt the guy's gonna cash the check.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you got no fuck that's autocross.
Yeah.
Let's race that thing.
Yeah. Like,
You know?
fucking send it in there.
Sell it to me when you don't want it. You want to pop those headphones on so you can hear us a little better, and let me know if they're working for you. And then I'm gonna adjust your mic.
Check. I'll get on my side.
Alright.
Hello. Hello.
This has to be, you know, a little bit of range of your mouth there to pick you up. And go ahead and say something, Moss.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him okay?
Working?
Yep, I can hear him.
All right, we're good there.
You hear me alright? Am I
I
too
can
loud
hear
for you? I laugh a lot.
Is your volume okay on your headphones there, Moss?
You could turn it down just a touch.
Okay, let me see. This should be. How's that right there? A little better?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't want to blast your ears out.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want me to mention what's the name of your shipping company?
You can, M&M Transport.
Are you just based here in California?
Yeah, well, when we first started, it was in Monterey there, but moved all out here, and I go anywhere though. I'll go where.
Yo, what was that about, dude? Monterey. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You paid half of what we would pay for
Well, you got what, 3-4 acres out there?
2.5.
My parents live like literally 5 minutes.
I'd be
from
happy
here,
with one.
2.5.
We're gonna come park cars at your house.
Hey, come on over. Bring them all over.
Car guy 831 on Instagram.
Yes.
He's at him, dude. He's
Oh, yeah.
got pictures like.
I will definitely do that after this.
Yeah, that's nothing to add in my Facebook too. The ones on Instagram is more of cars that I've just been at shows and seen. Some of them I've hauled, well, a lot of them I've hauled, but on my Facebook is just all cars that I've hauled.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. 5 minutes on there and you'll be in your refractory period. I mean, it's just. I mean, this guy's.
I'm ready.
Yeah, hauled some shit. All right, let me get this recording here. You already recording on camera?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have our first guest. We have Moss with M&M Transport. You can find him on Instagram, CarGuy831. He hauls the cream of the crop, the exotics, you know, concourse cars, really cool stuff. So we thought it'd be cool to bring him on. And you got any good stories? I mean, what have you hauled and where? Give us some cool ones.
Everything from everyday Honda Civics to $1 million cars, Porsche Carrera GTs, anything like that. But
What's been your favorite to haul?
some of the poster cars from when I was a kid, Lamborghini Countach, Lamborghini Alfa, Lamborghini Diablos, cars that I've always dreamed of having, and being in and actually getting to drive them and stuff was just pretty cool.
So yeah, you get to put around the parking lot and put them into the trailer and.
Yeah, sometimes you got to drive it down the street or whatever. And I've had a couple customers say, "Hey man, take this car around and let me hear it." I haven't got to hear it. They bought it at auction or bought it at somebody's. Haven't seen it in person. Oh, take it down, let me hear the exhaust. And we had a guy in Texas and he did that. We were driving up and down. He had a private airport at his property, and he was like, "Hit it, man!" And I was it was a Ferrari 458 at the time, brand new one. And I was like, no, I was scared, I can't afford this car if I crash it, and so I buzzed down the airport, I thought I was flying, but I wasn't going that fast. And I get back and he said, "What the hell were you doing? You didn't even get on it barely at all. Let me in this car." He's red lining it, brand new car, red lining it, taking it up and down the, burning out, smoking the tires, the whole deal.
Well, it's like being a kid. You're afraid to break someone else's toys.
Yeah,
You know, I would
exactly.
be. I mean, how nervous do you get hauling those?
When I first started, luckily I had some friends that got me into it, and I kind of got some practice loading and unloading cars on their trailers, you know, and helping them, seeing firsthand what goes on. So I was nervous, but you can't let it affect you. You know, it's just another car, basically.
Right.
It's someone's play toy, you know. To us, it's, you know, oh man, that's an amazing car. But these guys, it's just you know, a car they want for the collection or to play with. For some of them, keep it a month or two. But yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking a couple times. You know, I drove the first few high-end cars.
Shaking a little bit.
Not just driving it, but, you know, transport it in the trailer. Like, I would stop I felt like every 20 miles and go and check the straps on the wheels and stuff and make sure that the car wasn't moving in the trailer, stuff like that, you know, first few loads of real high-end cars. But after a while, it just doesn't affect you. People say, hey, that's a, you know, one-on-one car, aren't you afraid? I said, I don't think about it.
It's like riding a bike.
Right.
I don't think about it, I just do it, you know, it's just my job. Doesn't matter what it is, if it's 10 grand or, you know, $1 million, just do it.
Yeah.
Treat them all the same, treat them like they're mine, take good care of them. And
Now, something like a Countach, getting that in and out of the trailer. I mean, I've seen people backing them up. You know, the videos, you have to open the door, poke your head
Yeah.
out. I mean, how do you get something like that out of the trailer? Just put it in reverse and pray?
Countach Lamborghinis are pretty hard because it's wider on the rear than it is the front. So I always try to have someone there on pickup or delivery. You know, extra eyes, it always helps out. But yeah, I keep the door open, but you also got to watch the door. You don't hit anything above you on some of those trailers, or you know, you don't want to catch one of those carbon fiber doors on something. But it takes a lot of practice backing it up straight, that's for sure, especially if it's a stick shift. And let me tell you, the clutch and the Countach and the Diablo, they're not very easy to drive. They're
Very bitey.
pain in the butt. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not to mention the shift pattern's different because you're reverse first.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
a
right.
lot of
The
those-
the gear ratio
Yeah.
and stuff, everything's all different from going reverse to first and all that.
But man, that's got to sound good getting in there and cranking that thing up. And
Cold
that
starts
V12.
every day.
Nothing like it. I mean, all the V12s sound different. I love them all, but there's something about the Lamborghini V12. The older ones, not so much. Countach wasn't very, you know, crazy loud. It wasn't like a Diablo or a Murcielago with exhaust, but they just have a different sound. Just sounds good. That old, you know, raw exhaust. They didn't have the emissions like they do now.
Right.
Now those new cars, you can't even tell if they're on or not. You know, it just
Scary.
it's you know, more of just a cool feeling to get to be in that car. There was a lot of them, you know, Countachs you've seen on past movies, TV shows, so it was just kind of cool to, you know, be able to experience that.
So you get some movie cars and stuff too occasionally then?
Closest I've I've come to a movie car was there was a guy in Illinois that has the rights to build Batmobiles.
Oh, nice.
So I hauled one out to a customer in California, the Batmobile from the 60s TV show. Closest I've come to a movie car. Haven't had any real movie cars.
Now, was that based on the 59 Chevy? I forget what those were on, because I know they had a big...
What he built them on was a 70s Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Because it was, you know, had needed to be a big car, wide car, long car to fit all that body molding on it. I guess fiberglass on it. So
It had to be a heavy one to load.
it was. That thing barely fit in the trailer. That was another one I
That's
was
very
sweating.
wide.
It wasn't a huge money. I mean, it was a big money car, but not crazy money. But that one I was sweating. I had to come from Illinois all the way to Sacramento, and yeah, I had just 2 inches maybe on each side, if that.
You got to strap that down good. That's not going to leave you much margin of air
Yeah.
from shaking and...
That's
Oh,
it. And, you know, on the trailer, you never know, bouncing around, and cars tend to move a little bit side to side, you know, if they could. And yeah, I put a couple extra straps on that one. It was a heavy car. Old Lincoln's a heavy car anyway.
When you get in and out of them, you pretty much just do like a Dukes of Hazzard out the window because you can't really open the doors, or it depends on where it is on the trailer.
Yeah, it depends on where it is on the trailer, what kind of car. the most nightmare car I've had was like a Ford GT.
Oh.
It was the
Those are the wonky doors on top
yeah,
too.
they kind of like a gull wing door, kind of full, come out. So there's no way, and then the door sill is 2.5 foot wide, so you can't
Right.
slink in between the door and the car. Some cars I could squeeze out, and other cars, you gotta go out the window, or hopefully it's where the door is on the side of the trailer.
Yeah, did you end up lining it up with the escape door on the trailer, or what did you end up doing to get that thing
Just
out of there?
out the window, out the window.
It's not a big window on that.
I was gonna say that too.
No.
I was like, I could do it.
Midget wanted for
Yeah.
transport company.
Luckily, I'm not a big guy. I mean, gained a little weight, but I could still pretty much fit in and out. Yeah, but you got to be careful you don't lean on or sit on the where the window and the body meet on some of the cars, because you'll dent it and scratch it. And I'm a short guy, so I'd have to some cars I'd put a block of wood on the ground next to it.
Just step in.
Just step in or out of the car, because I didn't want to put any weight on the door sill there where the window meets it. So
That's crazy. Did you get many concourse cars? The total replicas with every bolt's correct. The classics going to the.
I've had a couple customers, that I haul some cars like to Monterey Car Week for Pebble Beach Concourse. Yeah, I've had some cool old 30s Rolls Royces and Bentleys. Not too many 101s to that, but yeah, everything has to be period correct,
Right.
correct kind of metal. No, changing anything original as much as you can original on those cars.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of nerve wracking too, 'cause you can't find parts for those. So
Yeah.
it's.
They're just heavy cars, big cars. I mean, I've hauled some old Ferraris to Monterey Car Week. Just a mix of everything you can think of. Race cars. They did some race cars for at Laguna Seca. Same week there's
nice.
the historic races. So we had a customer from Australia brought a couple old McLaren race car and a BMW M1 race car. Yeah, that we all with.
So just geeking out over there.
Oh, for sure.
With 5 pallets of goodies, tires and tools and everything else to go with the car. Body work. That was a full load for 2 cars.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably get some that you can only fit the one car if they're bringing a bunch of
Everything else.
tires to swap out and spare parts and an extra engine too. Why not?
Yeah. There's a lot of that. When can you pick up my car? Oh yeah, book the car, and then they're like, you know what, we got an extra engine or transmission or both to go with it. Do you have room? And it's like, oh, okay, I wasn't planning on that, but
Right.
yeah, we'll make room now. We have to have room. We'll make it. Truck driver, we'll make it fit.
So what's been your longest run hauling a car?
I've been all the way to the East Coast,
Okay.
New York City, Cape Cod, Florida, Jacksonville. We did Car Week in Jacksonville. They have a big auction Car Week and concours there as well. So,
Nice.
I've been all the way everywhere across the U.S. hauling cars, picking up and delivering all the way across there.
Stuff coming up for Barrett Jackson and all that too.
Yeah, we have a couple cars, nothing major, just a couple old hot rods. Chevelle, I think El Camino.
What's getting the big dollar at Barrett Jackson? I mean, it seemed like 57s always do Deuce Coupes. I mean, is it still muscle cars that are getting all the money right now?
It's a JDM Type R Integra.
You give it a few years, it will be.
Just seeing people fight over those cars at auctions right now are crazy. Sorry, I had to say that.
What's funny is that we were at RM this year, Monterey Car Week, and the last car of the night on Saturday night was I believe it was the R34 Skyline, and all original right-hand drive, that dark blue, and that thing sold for $224,000, something like that.
That's crazy. They were fighting.
Yeah, and
people were bidding like crazy.
and the people were bidding. It looked like the father, but the kids were bidding on the car. They were the ones, they
They wanted the car.
20s. They were the ones that wanted the car, and he was just.
Daddy, I want a golden goose.
But yeah, the JDM cars, they're bringing a lot of money. Old JDM some American cars, 80s and 90s cars are making a big comeback. I feel like now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, especially over in Japan right now. A lot of people are taking U.S. cars and getting them transported over there.
Well, they were buying up our hot rods for a long time.
Yep.
The rat rod culture had taken over in Japan, and they wanted anything that was old and primered from us. But
Yep.
It's like, will you send us your Skylines, and we'll send you our 50s
Perfect
cars. And they've got money, so.
That's it. There's a lot of money over there.
Big time.
I watch those car YouTube videos and stuff from Japan. They've got a cool car culture over there, though. A lot of different stuff. I just saw one the other night, a couple weeks ago, that there was like a 64 Impala cruise. Everyone had hydraulics, and I didn't even know that was, something they wanted in Japan.
They got hold of our Dr. Dre videos.
Oh yeah, they did.
There was a huge lineup, 50 cars, and I can't remember what YouTube, but I was watching it. I was like, wow, I didn't even know, they were into that in Japan. They're into a little bit of everything.
So that's your next thing now. You need a boat, so you can start shipping across
That's
overseas.
it, international shipping.
A lot of people do that. They literally just sink money into those tanker boats and let other people just do it. And,
I can't imagine what it is to ship overseas.
I don't even want to know right now because all the stuff that's backed up.
No, true. You're not getting them off the boat.
Nope.
No one gets there.
You're gonna pay for more idling time than anything.
The last couple I've hauled some to the port, 2020, 2019, we were doing about 100 cars a year to the port. And it didn't seem like it was that much money because it was going by boat and you had to wait so long for the car. I'm sure it's a lot more now, probably doubled what it was. But I've seen, just on YouTube as well, I've seen a lot of guys, air shipping their car now. Because it's a lot more money, but it's faster. A lot faster.
You get your car.
Yeah, you get your car.
A year.
Exactly, not waiting a month or 2 months for your car.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine.
And you don't have to worry about it sinking in the ocean.
That's true.
Yeah, it goes down in the ocean, you're gonna get that one back. That's for sure.
Tyler, you got anything crazy, hauling the cars? I mean, I'm sure you run into the idiot drivers and all that on the road, and I mean, you're hauling precious cargo, man. You're someone's baby in there.
Yeah, pretty much every day you get on the road, someone acts a fool in front of you. If you're driving a truck, someone's always got to cut in, jump in front of you, beat you.
They think you can stop on a dime.
Thank God, knock on wood, I haven't really been in any accidents, or with any cars on the trailer. But I've had some close calls, and it is nerve-wracking. You kind of forget what's on the trailer, because I've been trucking so long. But it's always other people on the freeway or on the roadways pulling out or doing something stupid in front of you, or gotta cut in front of you and then brake just to get off. They couldn't have waited those extra 2-3 seconds.
And how many times has that been a Prius?
No comment to those Prius owners, but they've had a few Priuses, but it's a whole, every car you can think of.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I do have a question for you. So I have done transporting before, not for cars as far as the loads that you've done, but I've driven like bigger cab overs at internationals, like air brakes and stuff like that. And me personally going through like the Grapevine and 5 and stuff and having all that weight, feeling and moving like crazy, I can only imagine, like, you get so used to it now, but like going through the mountains and you just feel that little bit of sway and there's 30 freaking trucks lined up as you're all trying to just keep the same speed. Like, I can only imagine, man, like how, like your first experience going through that, how did you feel and what was on the trailer at the time? Was pretty much my question for that kind of scenario.
There's a question in there, honestly.
Yeah,
yes, there was a question. I just had to lead it up.
remember what exactly I had on the trailer, but it's gonna be a long answer. Kind of going out of truck driving school, in truck driving school they don't teach you.
Yeah, they just throw you in.
They teach you. Let me say that they teach you and they teach you well, but they don't teach you what it feels like actually with a load on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So the first few times I went down a hill, I wasn't hauling cars yet. I was hauling more construction material.
Mm-hmm.
But cars wise, it was probably some old American cars, and I can't remember the first time I hauled cars down like the Grapevine, but I've been over the Grapevine before. But it is scary. It is scary. I've had a couple of scary encounters just with weather.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
cars
that's
on
what
the
I'm saying. The
trailer.
wind and everything.
I've been going through. One time I was going through Wyoming, and Wyoming's notorious for blowing trucks over. And it's pretty scary. And that time I had some, I had the number 2 convertible, 1966 GT350 Shelby Mustang on the trailer, and a couple other Porsches and another Mustang, and going through Wyoming, and it was windy as hell, and I was scared. At that point then you think what's on the trailer, and then it's like,
Right.
yeah, I'll pull over. And yeah, sometimes the customer gets mad because it takes you longer to get there, but after they
You want it in
realize,
one piece?
Yeah.
Or you
yeah, after
want
they
it covered in
realize
snow?
that that's why you did it, and to protect their, toys or their prized possession, they're thankful after they cuss you out the first time. But
Yeah.
other time I was in Oklahoma City, tornado warnings, the truck, I was parked, and the truck was blowing, the trucks next to me, I thought they were gonna tip over on me, and all I could do was sit there and pray, please don't let these trucks tip over on me and smash my truck, which was a really expensive, nice truck, plus all the load that's on there. I'm not gonna explain that away. I got smashed by a parked truck,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, going downhill is pretty scary, especially loaded at 80,000 pounds. Just low gear, try to keep the Jake brake on, not touch your brakes, or stay on the brakes.
Yeah, I can imagine having to chain that up too if you hit snow or something. I mean,
Oh yeah, hauling cars, I try to stay out of the snow as much as possible. But
Definitely.
thankfully, that we call them snowbirds. Those cars get out right before the winter time, and we move them to areas like Florida or Palm Springs. They move their nice cars so they can drive them in the winter.
so the owners time that out then with those high dollar cars.
Yeah, usually I got a bunch of friends, and I know a lot of companies that I have friends that work for, and they haul their snowbirds every year, same time of year. October, November, get them out of there, Wisconsin, Minnesota, take them. And up north, East Coast, take them all down to Florida or wherever down there for winter time, so they can still enjoy them.
That's how you do. You don't pack it away for this season.
You gotta spend more money and go have fun.
You didn't pay that much for this car. Enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, make a little more money, buy another house in Florida or Palm Springs.
It's only money. You can get more.
Yeah, exactly. Some of those guys had unlimited money with the cars that they have anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's past the fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, hey, I'm gonna run through 10 questions here with you really quick. Soch and I did this earlier, and it's just, kind of who you are, stuff like that. What was your first car, Moss?
My first car was, my dad handed me down a Mazda B2600 extra cab plus their pickup truck. Stick shift, 5-speed, and he kind of taught me, but he put me into it, so you need to learn how to drive this. So I kind of spent outside of Marina there. Where I was raised, there was a back road, kind of little hills, and I would go out there and try to start on the little tiny hills, and kind of taught myself how to drive stick shift, and with his yelling in my ear here and there, and then I would go out by myself and practice more, because you always wanted to please dad, and if you couldn't drive a stick shift, you shouldn't be driving a car, at that time.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a Mazda pickup first car.
I love that. I love that truck, and honestly, what's funny is I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, I saw one on the road. It was all messed up, beat up, rusted, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I could find one of those now. It'd probably be a cool truck to have.
Yeah, they were slow. Mine didn't have air. I don't know about yours, but loved it.
No, I don't remember that. I remember I could burn out in it and get the tires going, probably because it was a pickup truck. Didn't have much power, but
Yeah.
No weight in the back?
yeah,
Just
no weight
sitting
in the back. That
5
was
speed, no weight. You're good.
that was the funnest part about it. I didn't get any speeding tickets, so it must not have been that fast.
How many cars have you owned?
Oh man, I've owned probably about 15 or so, 16 cars,
Nice.
all different. Everything from that truck to I had a GMC pickup truck, just a bench seat. I had two early Acura Integras,
Nice.
1990. I think they were 94, 95, 96s.
D8.
Yeah.
Sorry. What more?
I had
You were some money.
I had a purple Honda Prelude my aunt gave me. And, on the car scene I got made fun of. So that one in the 90s, that one didn't stay around too long. And then I got, what did I get? So after that, yeah.
What was your favorite?
My favorite car that I've owned, I don't know, that's a tough one. I've had a few, not, amazing, crazy cars. I've had for my age, and at the time I have had a 95 M3, the car yellow. That one was one of my favorites until I got the E46 M3, and that one was my favorite. Up until now, it's a toss-up. I had a 2019 Dodge Charger Daytona, and that one was kind of my favorite.
That's the new generation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love the way those cars look. I do.
Just
Not a lot of the people that own them around here, but that's another story.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's why I kind of got rid of it. But my son, I had a son, and he didn't want me to ever get rid of that car. He said it meant a lot to him. He wanted to drive it when he got his first license. So that, I don't know, that kind of put maybe that car my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Tragically, I got rid of it. Should have kept it, but I got rid of it. And
Your family gets sentimental for cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
So yeah, between the E46 M3 and that one, those are probably my favorite
Nice.
cars so far that I've had. But there's still time, and I'm gonna add to the.
Well, what's the dream car?
Oh man,
Too many to count. I want them all.
that's a difficult question because it depends. It depends on the era, the day, or what I'm doing with it. Honestly, I don't think I could.
What's in the trailer at the time?
Yeah, I don't think I could narrow it down to just one car. If I had the money and the means, I'd have. You'd probably be asking me, why do you have 300 cars?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just depends. I probably the first car I buy would be a Lamborghini Diablo SV.
Nice.
That was my dream car growing up. It was one of those poster cars. And it's something special. It's not just a normal Diablo. So when I go to buy cars, I buy special cars. Like I bought that Daytona, I bought the M3s, but I bought them in a different color. I didn't want
something unique
the
that.
black, white, silver.
Not the basic purple and black like everyone does.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Wish I had that purple Prelude today, 'cause that
Well, the
would-
Prelude's worth some money.
yeah, exactly. That would have been a car, and I should have just, that was me being young and right high school. I don't want to get made fun
So
of.
it's that story of being young and
Yeah.
not knowing better yet.
Yeah, but it'd probably be a Lamborghini Diablo SV. I know it's not the fastest or the
It's iconic.
craziest car, but it means a lot to me. More
Right on.
sentimental,
Nice. This might be unique for you since you drive truck and haul stuff. Worst ticket you've gotten?
Worst ticket I've gotten.
Your parents aren't listening. So.
What are you doing? Oh,
Sorry, no, Mom knows about this one. Well, it was back when I was right out of high school again, same thing, and Fast and Furious had come out. We were into the racing scene. Man, I had my Acura Integra. Wasn't a crazy fast car, didn't have a turbo or anything on it, but we were racing and in San Jose one night and got busted by the cops for street racing. That was a big ticket. Luckily, thankfully, they didn't tow my car, but I got state refed and a bunch of fix-it tickets and not quite a racing ticket, but more of like a spectating. He went lenient on me.
Oh,
He gave me a
you got the lucky one.
Yeah,
for
you got
of
lucky.
being there, but it still costed me, at the time, $2,500 or so, because I had to go to the referee and take all the parts I had on the car and the engine stuff off, exhaust, all that.
He
off.
wins as far as the fine on that. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thankfully, truck driving and hauling cars, I haven't really got any tickets doing that. Minor fix-it tickets, but
Yeah, so you got to be extra careful on that.
yeah.
Definitely.
That was my biggest ticket. That's the one I remember. That's the first one.
Oh,
that comes to
man.
mind. And I've got some other speeding tickets, but I ride motorcycles too. But
Say Fast and Furious,
so,
man.
yeah.
Influencing the kids.
That's it.
Yugo, classic or still junk?
Ah, man.
That's a
Just so you
curveball
know,
right there.
He's smiling at the
That's
thing.
a tough one. You know what? I know a lot of people hate them, but I feel like a Yugo is a classic. You have to, because it added to the car culture. Out of a special country that didn't make many cars, and actually is one of the most known cars in the world.
It's true, that's
right?
true.
I mean, I haven't come across them, haven't driven one. I've seen them.
Haven't hauled one yet, huh?
Haven't hauled one, no.
You put it in the bed of the
hey,
pickup,
if
probably.
anyone has one out there and needs one hauled, feel free to hit me up. But
Nice.
yeah, I feel like it's a classic and it's a huge part of car culture.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Favorite car movie?
Favorite car movie? That's
Thousands to choose
yeah,
from.
that's another tough one too.
And it's hard to narrow down to just one on a lot of these. And they can sit here and list tons of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's see, my favorite, honestly, my favorite car movie, probably gonna sound ridiculous, but probably Smokey and the Bandit, because I'm a truck driver. Plus, I love the Trans Am, you know?
Yeah.
Big fan of Burt Reynolds, and that's another iconic car that,
Oh, racy.
yeah, you know.
We've got a buddy building a replica of that Trans Am right now. We'll have to get them in.
Yeah, that's
It's iconic.
that's probably my favorite car movie.
Nice.
Honestly, it's not really a car movie, more of a truck movie, but it does have well.
It's vehicles. It's
Yeah,
a good pull.
You're right. Smoking Bandit 3
That
was a
Trans
real
Am,
star.
It's a whole family of people trying to get by, do what they need.
Yeah, that's my answer. I'm gonna stick with that one.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, who's the better drivers, Dom Toretto's family or Memphis Reign's crew in Gone in 60 Seconds? See, these aren't all serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Dom Toretto's family.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of, there's a lot of good drivers on both sides, but yeah, I don't know. Some of the stunts in Fast and Furious were kind of out there, but I feel like
They took a fear out of space, man. It's all good.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is I just did that exotic racing in Vegas at the Speedway.
Oh.
And I got a pretty good lap time with GT3 Porsche, but the people in front of me were Juan Pablo Montoya and old Michelle Rodriguez from Fast and Furious, and she had a pretty good lap time.
Really?
So yeah, firsthand, that's one of the people I know from Fast and Furious that could drive pretty well.
Dude, that's awesome. What were they driving?
GT3.
Oh, it was all GT3.
Yeah, GT3 Porsche.
Dude, that's awesome. Very cool.
I think it was a 2018.
Hey, if you can back it up,
Yeah. I know, but I see it on paper on the stats there, she could drive. At least there she could drive.
Right.
I'm gonna go with that answer. Fast and Furious.
Sure, she can outdrive me. I don't doubt that. All right, you've got to drive one car for the rest of your life. What is it?
One car for the rest of my life.
That takes a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Diablo fits that.
Honestly, I'm probably I would pick a Porsche, probably GT2 or GT3 RS.
Good man. You got some good taste on these Porsches here.
If that was the one car, yeah.
Nice. And last question: dog in the front seat or back seat?
In my car, the dog stays at home. If I had some covers, back seat. Yeah. Shoot, I don't even let the kids in my car.
Well, what are you driving right now?
I got a C63 AMG Mercedes.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
So trunks are for kids, dogs,
No food, drink, no shoes. Put the little medical COVID booties on there when you get in the car. Because I don't want anything getting messed up. Leather and suede or Alcantara interior. You don't want that.
That's true.
On it. Yeah.
That's true. Awesome, man. So let us know how people can find you. They need something shipped, transported.
You could DM me on Facebook, just Moss Masatani on Facebook, or Instagram is Car Guy Moss 831 on Instagram, and or give me a call. Anyone wants my number, hit me up, give it to you if you need anything transported, moved, do cars, motorcycles, anywhere you want to go. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming by, man. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
We'll get you back out here again and get some more stories from the road. And
sounds like a good plan. I mean, we barely even cracked the surface. I got so many stories and so many different cars I've hauled, but yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to come back anytime.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. All right, we're going to cut over to Dale Mehl. He's got some car news coming up for us and some quirky things to say. We never know what's going to come out of Dale's mouth, so enjoy.
Thank you guys for your introduction. Brand new for me, so I'm naming this segment Autos Are Us. And in the background, the music is Holiday 4 Strings. Billy Vaughn. What's happening? Oh, it's bad news for you. The 3G network that is currently still working is going to go bye-bye in February 2022 up through December 2022. What am I talking about? You'll have available for you the 4G network, the 5G network, and even a 6G network for your car. Now, from models made from 2010 to 2021, your car could stop in the middle of the road. especially if you have a Japanese model car. This is like Y2K all over again. If you're driving certain models from Honda, Nissan, and Volvo, you might need to act before AT&T's 3G shutdown date in February. Verizon-aligned brands like Toyota and Lexus might have more time. Verizon says its 3D shutdown will happen no later than December 31st, 2022. T-Mobile plans to shut down its Sprint and T-Mobile 3G networks between March and July. That is from the Make It website. So they made it for me. Also, the 2022 Mercedes AMG SL reaffirms its place in the world. Why? The AMG model of Mercedes takes over the SL and creates a more refined and practical alternative to the AMC GT two-seater. The new SL retains the long hood and short deck proportions of its predecessor, but with much trimmer overhangs. It looks less brickish, not British, brickish. It looks less brickish than its previous square-jawed design, the back sculptured and sloped. The net effect is that the new car appears smaller than the old one despite growing in length. I'm going to take this time out to say this is not a radio cast. This is a podcast. Listen to this message carefully.
Got a radio?
I don't like radios. Blah, 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 a lot of nonsense.
Now we're going to wrap up with General Motors plans to launch an online used car dealership called Car Bravo. Beginning in spring, customers will be able to buy a used Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC vehicle on a new platform from GM and its dealers. The Detroit Auto Show will return September 14th through the 25th, 2022. The Detroit News reports in December that organizers were targeting the mid-September dates for the city's first full auto show since January 2019. North American car, truck, and SUV of the year, Civic, Bronco, and Maverick. The winners were whittled down from the initial list of 36 eligible cars, trucks, and utility vehicles. Now, I'm going to pose a question to you.
Can you tell me, what would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?
Now I have one moment in which I'm going to speak. There is something new on the horizon from Dubai, and you can't buy it here. It wouldn't fit on the road. Think of the 60s with the Search breath mints. Do you remember Search breath mints? They outsold everybody. And the reason is they had great advertising, such as two mints in one, plus the golden drop of Retsin, making it extra sweet and purifies your breath. That was the 60s. There is no such word as Retsin. They don't put a golden drop of Retsin in every search. Why? Because it was a great advertising gimmick. Give people what they want. And they really outsold everybody. Let's bring it up to 2022 in Dubai. Now then, you can get an automobile like a Jeep, which I saw, which is two widths in one. Yes, you can get a double wide Jeep with the steering wheel on the extreme left side if you get into the car, and you can fit 4 passengers. If you think those can be driven on the road in Dubai, you're sadly mistaken. Nice idea. Put your whole family in this double wide Jeep and climb to the mountains to Yosemite. It would take over the entire road and you can knock every other car over a cliff. But not practical in America. And now for the answer to our question. And I'll see you later.
Can you answer the question?
No, it is a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Because Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
Well, she's acceptable, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Dale Mehl, for that update on auto news and what's going on with the GPS updates and the goodbye to 3G as we all move up to 20G or whatever the next thing's going to be. To my co-host Soch, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
I think we had a lot of fun. We'll catch you next week. Oh, there's our warning. We got to get out of here. Yeah, I think they're after us, man. All right, folks, be sure to grease those muffler bearings and top off your blinker fluid. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.